Guess who's back? Back again.
Mm,
Brian and John are back. Tell your friends.
tell everybody. Tell everybody you know to tune into the memeage. Yeah. Had to skip last week. Just too much stuff going on. Me moving. I don't even know what you were doing. What were you doing?
I don't know what I was doing. That was before. I don't. We don't need to recount all of our water issues that we had over the past week. I was probably working on the precursor to that episode, doing work
the
around
funny
the
thing
house.
is, you had your leak, then I had my massive flood in the house, and now I've got a hurricane bearing down, like the first hurricane in however many decades in California, Hurricane Hillary. So
yeah, that's the title of this episode. If you noticed,
Hurricane Hillary. Oh, nice. There you go. Yeah. So as I tweeted out, I got a pussy hat and a pantsuit. I'm gonna wear it on a roof to make sure it leaves me alone. Knows I'm an ally. But yeah, man. So now it's like I'm wondering if my other house, like, because I'm in the rental house now, is going to be flooded with fucking water because it's got plywood on the walls. Like, it's got plywood walls right now. Like, what's going to happen there? What's going to happen at this house? Like, this house will probably flood again. It's like, oh, God, man.
So what the heck? Like, what are they saying out there? I can never remember a hurricane like coming up and swinging up and hitting Southern California. Like, when's the last time this happened? You have any idea?
I have no clue. I mean, literally, it's decades. It may be the first time, but no, it's been a very long time. And I mean, odds are by the time it actually comes up, it's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker and just be a bunch of rain, which is, I think, now what they're saying. Like, it's not going to be like the 140 mile per hour winds that are down lower. It'll just be rain. But I mean, people are going to have, if there's a heavy rain and heavy winds, you're going to have mudslides. Like the people that build their houses on the side of like the cliffs in Malibu, like psychopaths, where they like dangle out like Troy McClure's, fish fucking haven on The Simpsons. There could be some issues, man. There could be some real problems. And so that's probably what you're going to see happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so much crazy stuff happening. You think they're trying, like, the hurricane normally like would have gone towards Hawaii, maybe giving them some rain, but are they engineering the weather to like push it away from Hawaii so it won't put out the fires?
I mean, it's, who knows at this point. Maybe that's what the chemtrails have been all about, putting nanobots in our atmosphere that can blow, like each one of them's got a little fan that blows away the weather so they can selectively fuck us or leave Malibu to continue to burn. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? The conspiracy theory about that they allowed Malibu to burn, like they didn't turn, like the sirens didn't go off, which is insane.
Well, not Malibu. Although Malibu was on fire.
Not Malibu. Sorry,
a couple
not
years
Malibu.
ago.
Maui. I mean, sorry, we're talking California.
Almost no difference. Same thing.
Yeah, Maui. I mean, and like,
I did hear one thing about that kind of made sense. So the sirens, and maybe this is bad information, but the sirens are for if there's a tsunami coming, apparently, to tell everyone to run for the hills, for the high ground. So they were saying if the sirens went off, people would have ran for the high ground, which would have been towards the fire. I just heard someone say that. I don't even know if any of that is true, but that's one counter argument, I guess.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I just don't see how there isn't, like, I was going to say, like, North Korea launches a missile and all of Japan gets like a text message all at once, like, hey, a missile. Like, they have nothing in Hawaii that does a similar thing for, a fire.
Or a volcano erupting. Do they have
volcano? Yeah. Like, what the fuck? I get alerts if an old person is lost on the side of the road in California, by the way. Maui has nothing for fire. It doesn't seem right.
I don't know. There's like so many of these stories. There's something missing here that we don't know. A vital piece of information. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a grand government conspiracy and it was intentionally said and they're trying to, burn the people out who live there in order to take the land and build resorts or build, some sort of.
But they did say that they are going to do that.
Yeah, the non-drive cities or whatever. Yeah, they probably will end up doing all of that, but who knows? Maybe it was all intentional. At this point, after COVID, I have zero trust in any of our institutions, and anything's possible.
Well, I mean, the one thing I saw that I thought was interesting, and I tweeted about this too, is that the Hawaii Electric Company had known that there were issues with the extending structures, with the grid as it was, and that there were dangers in the existing system. But instead of fixing them, and this is from like some investigative reporting that was done, instead of fixing the existing systems, they instead spent their time and their money building out bullshit green initiatives. So I thought it was pretty ironic that at the first thing, people were like, well, this is due to climate change. That was the initial thing everybody had yelled about, instead of the fact that it was actually like, a problem for the power company. But they're right. It is the fault of climate change, because if they hadn't wasted their time on this green energy bullshit and had actually fixed their systems, they wouldn't have had the fire.
Yeah. Well, that's actually really interesting. As you know, I work in risk management, and when you are creating and when you're dealing with threats, which climate change is a threat, apparently, I don't necessarily agree that it is a threat or that we've caused it or that we can even mitigate it. But when you're putting mitigations in place for any risk, you want to be sure to observe and, think things through, that you're not creating other chains of risks that can occur with your mitigations, which is exactly what happened here. And I mean, that's the case with a lot of climate change and a lot of government programs just overall. I mean, they don't think about the unintended consequences. They don't think about the other risks they're creating down the line, because they're just thinking short term. They're just thinking election cycle to election cycle. What can I sell? What can I sell? And that's all they care about.
In truth, the risks created down the line are kind of a benefit of the system, aren't they? Because government then has to solve the problems that they created, which expands the size and scope of government. So it's really a benefit rather than a drawback.
And I think you tweeted this out also, something about now Joe Biden sending what, 3 million? Is it million or
it was 2.3? They had posted 2.3 million before. Now, granted, this number keeps changing, but something like 2.3 million is what they had sent out. And
which I don't think people have like the right perspective on how much less that is than has been sent to Ukraine. And I'm sure they'll send more to Hawaii, but it's never going to approach the amount that has gone to Ukraine.
No. And it's funny too, the amount it's going to cost to rebuild Hawaii, let's say the government helps rebuild the land there, is in no way, shape, or form going to compare to the trillions that are going to end up being spent to rebuild the entire country of Ukraine when we're done, which I also promise you we're going to be on the hook for.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to talk on our Nittany call. I won't use names, but hopefully our Nittany member who is from the area in Hawaii can help to fill us in on like how it's going to work with land rights there, and what he sees in the background going on with people actually retaining their lands, because it doesn't look good. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, it does not. Well, on to some brighter things. How about some memes?
Yeah, I can start things off with a funny one that has nothing to do with anything. That's just a good old-fashioned meme. And as per usual,
can't find it.
Where is the picture? It's there it is. Okay. So I'm sure everyone listening to this has that friend, that couple who they have the Facebook account with the Jim and Terry Eisenbarth, all crammed together in one name. I just made that name up. That's probably a real couple Facebook account though. So this is couples. It's titled Couples with Joint Facebook Names, and you have a nice older blonde-haired lady sitting with a puppet. What's the name for that?
Puppet. It's not a mannequin. Oh God, what's the name of those? The ones that you put your hand up its ass and make it talk. A ventriloquism dummy.
Yeah, I almost said mannequin too. I was like, that's not mannequin. So that sitting on her lap, which is exactly what it is. It's not like the dude going to the wife saying, "Yeah, we should combine Facebook accounts." Every time that this happens, at a minimum, it was a guy talking to girls or people from his past exes, and the wife found out, and that's why it's joined Facebook, or something worse than that, outright cheating or something like that. Because most of the time that there is this joint Facebook account, a lot of times the wife will still have their own separate Facebook account, but this is the only Facebook account that this poor husband can have.
Yep. Too much talking to ex-girlfriends on Facebook from high school.
Yep.
All right. So my first one I will share ties into the Hurricane Hillary theme here. I thought this was pretty funny from the Babylon Bee. And it is a showcase of a bunch of tents covered in tarps on the side of the street with plywood across the doors and the windows. Californians prepare for hurricane by nailing plywood boards onto their tent flaps. Very funny. Very, very funny. Very accurate. I do wonder what's going to happen to all these homeless people. Maybe they get washed out to sea.
Well, I think your concern you were talking about a little earlier about where you're living now and your other house is getting renovated. What's going to happen? Is the water just going to come in with the plywood? I would be worried about the homeless people just coming into your house for shelter. That's what I would be worried about.
Oh, shit. Maybe I need to go and hunker down in my house with my shotgun, which is my plan to do all along anyway. But
if you ride out a hurricane in your currently being renovated house, just with plywood between you and the wind and the rain of a hurricane, I think you should live stream it. But that's just
I agree completely. I agree. Well, let's just hope we don't have a hurricane, man. Otherwise, I don't need to go back after the nightmare of everything that's happened over the past week. I don't need the nightmare of my current house being destroyed with hurricanes. As there's like literally my power box is like right next to one of the walls that's just like plywood right now, like exposed because they had cut out the wall around it because it's gonna have to get replaced. Good times. All right. What's your next one?
Well, that's why you have insurance, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to share a little clip from Charlemagne had Larry Elder on his podcast / YouTube show, whatever it is, and trying to set up Larry Elder for basically, everyone calls him a fake black guy, basically a white guy.
Uncle Tom, as they say.
Uncle Tom is the term. And Larry Elder was having none of it. And I thought it was a fantastic back and forth here with Larry Elder taking the victory. We'll see what you all think.
Have you ever heard of the term nigga wake up call?
No.
It is an incident where a person of color forgets that they are of color and are reminded rather brutally by an unexpected act of racism. Have you ever had any of those?
Oh, brother.
I'm just asking. You think you've ever
Well,
had
I'm acutely aware, Charlemagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get upset over things like that. But what I did say,
well, you just not talk about a nigger wake-up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part to have a white guy come in here who also said, by the way, about Mitt Romney, because he didn't want to put more regulations on Wall Street, going to put y'all back in chains. And Joe Biden has lied for decades about his civil rights record, claiming that he desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Wilmington, Delaware, when he didn't do any of that. He lied and said that he tried to visit Nelson Mandela during apartheid South Africa. He did not. And he came in here and told you aren't even black unless you think a certain kind of way. It seemed to me that should have been a nigga wake-up call for you, but it wasn't, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, no.
We didn't have listened to the whole thing, but man, he put him in his place. I don't understand. And he goes on later here to talk about, there were like 20% of black males did voted for Trump over Biden. But I just don't understand like the amount of black people who had no issue with Joe Biden saying, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. Like that is just so insane for an old white man in his late 70s who's running for president to say that and get away with it just because he has a D next to his name. It's the only reason why he can get away with it.
Yeah. And I do Larry Elder he could go deep in the bag too, to pull out those facts to really come back and slice you up with. I did say, I was entertained with Charlemagne the God saying he's not upset by that. And just like he's not upset by Larry saying, all right, fine, if you want to be neutral, but yeah, you can't come out and say, the one person should get a wake-up call in one way with completely ignoring just how unbelievably racist the Democratic Party is. And somebody just tweeted out, and I can't remember who it was, asking what the difference. It wasn't Maj Toure, but it was somebody else asking what the difference would be if black people voted libertarian and if that would make a difference. And I'm looking at some of the responses, and I think it would make an unbelievable difference if black people in mass separated from the Democratic Party and voted Libertarian, it would instantaneously vault the Libertarian Party up into a position of quite a bit of power. It would completely change the conversation about race in the country, about welfare in the country, about what's been done to the black population of the country by both parties, but predominantly by Democrats. I mean, it would be instantly a game changer in every possible way.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, it would make the Democrat Party change, their talking points to cater more to if the black population was attracted to the ideas of liberty and self-defense and free speech and all these different things. Yeah, then if they wanted to win that, that part of the population back, they would have to start talking about that stuff. So yeah, of course it'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Next meme from me. I'm standing up this whole time, by the way, because I am I'm still setting my desk up. My desk is on order. I thought I was going to be doing this from my other house, but
I think I'm going to get a standing desk, so maybe soon I'll be standing
and sitting. Well, the thing is, you get a standing desk, and then you have standing for a while, and you go, you know what's better than standing? Sitting. And you end up sitting. All right, so this was pretty funny from Declaration of Memes. It's a fucking photo of a car where some asshole this is like today. Somebody has thumbtacked masks over the AC in their car.
What?
And of course, it's the guy from Terminator 2, the kid who used to be attractive and then became just the schlubbiest of schlubs, hanging out with Ron Jeremy all the time. I can't remember his name. Not River Phoenix, because River Phoenix died, but some other jerk. And it says, "We're not going to make it, are we? People, I mean." And no, no, I don't think we're going to.
Well, I see the one guy in the comments there. This is an Instagram post. It says, the one guy says, "Not a bad idea for wildfire smoke." Actually, not the worst idea. I mean, you do a filter built into your car for that. So
yes, you do.
Probably a better idea just to change that filter because it's going to be all gunked up with smoke and crap. But yeah.
All right, could be your turn. And I got one more funny one. I have a feeling I know the one you're going to pull up, so I intentionally didn't use it.
I don't. Well, maybe you're thinking of the next one, but this one I don't think you know about this one. So this is
I did see this. Yeah.
Did you see this? So this is a trans parent. I guess it's a woman, or I don't know what they identify as.
What they yeah.
And what they're doing is they're talking here. They're asking questions to their child who, I don't know. You think this kid is like 18 months old? Maybe 2 years at the most?
Definitely younger. I mean, younger than 2 for sure.
Yeah.
I would say maybe like 16 months.
I'll just play the video and then we can get angry about it.
Riley, are you a boy or a girl? Are you a girl or a boy? Yes. What is Riley?
Barely speak.
No.
What are you? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a boy? Yeah. Are you a girl? Yeah. Are you both? No. Both? Okay, that's fine. You can be both if you want to.
Fucking awful,
Riley.
man. It's just one of those things, this fucking asshole person has done this crap with this kid enough times. The kid's not thinking about anything. The kid doesn't even know what they're saying. It's simply call and response.
At that age, the kid's literally saying yeah to every question.
Exactly. Exactly. And both they've said because the stupid ass mom there, whatever what she identifies as, is training the kid to say both when asked if they're both in regards to boy and girl. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's I mean, and that's a lot of times this is what's happening, I think, in these situations is it's brainwashing the children because you see all these celebrities today who a lot of the times it seems like they're making through this indoctrination, raising them up this way, where it's little boys who are dressing as little girls. It seems with celebrities, it's going that direction. It's weird how
many celebrities just happen to have transgender kids or non-binary kids.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's like a 90% rate for these celebrities. I mean, what are the odds? It goes against all the
probability. Yeah, the odds on that are. I mean, you got a better chance of being struck by lightning, but somehow all these celebrities have transgender kids. It's truly remarkable.
Yep. Remarkable and despicable. All right, so here's my last one. It is I don't know if you saw this, pretty hilarious, but and granted, look, I work in publicity, you know, obviously many people will run an account, but it is just too funny that Karine Jean-Pierre posted on her own account, investing in America means investing in all of America. When I ran for president, I made a promise that I would leave no part of the country behind. I'm actually shocked that she's writing the tweets for the account. I figured they would actually have somebody else doing that rather than Karine Jean-Pierre, but maybe she's just jumping in, kind of adding to the team. But it was still funny to see.
Yeah, that is actually the most shocking part of this, that they would have her doing the tweeting, because his tweets they're all pretty boilerplate. So yeah, probably is her doing most of it. It's nothing crazy or witty.
A lot of boilerplate, a lot of complete and total lies.
Yeah. Actually, it does sound like something Joe Biden would say. Some of the stuff they do a good job of just outright lying. It's pretty solid impression of him. Last one for me, and maybe this is the one you thought that I was going to share at first. Hurricane Hillary.
Oh no, it's not.
Video, you know, coming right up the coast there, right into Brian's grill, right there.
The face is great with the laughing of Hillary's stupid, horrible mug.
So it's a video of the hurricane tracker, but instead of like the eye of the hurricane, it's Hillary's face at the DNC convention, where when the balloons were released, she looked around like she'd never seen balloons before in her entire life.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Great.
The one I thought you were going to share is the one of the dude, the redhead dude who sings "Rich Men North of Richmond," and it's been going around where people posted, it says "Me after 0 drinks." Yelling about politics or something like that, and it's just him going, woo, into the mic.
That's great, man.
Any final thoughts, man?
If you're listening or watching this on YouTube, hit the little notification bell so you actually get it. Or if you're on Rumble, or if you want to listen on Rumble, we're getting an audience there. Get over, subscribe to the channel, and watch it there. That's it.
Amen. I don't know why I couldn't get Rumble to work on my live stream with John Ziegler. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Yeah, all right. Well, good memeing.
See ya.
Memes.